Did you really think that we were done yet, especially in terms of the 2023 recruiting class? We've got a brand new offensive lineman to talk about, a late addition. Let's talk about who that is and what it means for Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers. War Eagle, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. As you're watching or listening today, be sure to drop a comment down below. We'd love to hear your thoughts as we're sharing ours. I want to take a quick second to remind you of our friends at Alumni Hall. As an affiliate of theirs, we can attest to how good they are at helping you gear up for game day. You can visit them in store in Auburn, Opelika, Huntsville, and in several regional locations for other teams across the Southeast and the country. Check them out also by visiting our link in the description, that very first link, where you can gear up for game day and much more by visiting alumnihall.com. I'm going to be honest, this feels like a really weird video to be doing because we're talking about the transfer portal when fall camp is just about to begin. So we're going to talk about this guy, but it's going to feel like we're discussing a traditional high school recruit at times in the way that we discuss it. Let's take it back a little bit, because this is actually the first transfer that we've had in almost 2 months. That last one was Champ Anthony, a defensive back. We did a video about him. You can go back and watch that, as well as all the other videos that we did for the 2023 class. But for this video, we're discussing brand new offensive lineman Dylan Senda, coming to us by way of Northwestern. He actually will make the 22nd transfer in this class and the first one of the summer. Good news here, though, he will have 4 years of eligibility to use at Auburn. Let's start off by talking about the timeline of events that brought us to the point of his commitment today. Not a lot of connection with Auburn, and not even hardly with the SEC at all. Kentucky and Missouri offered him at some point, but really mostly the offers were coming from his particular region. Now, he did eventually commit, sign, and enroll early with Northwestern, and was going to be part of this upcoming team for them. But that big scandal has happened and has offered them the opportunities to seek other opportunities at other schools, and thus Dylan entered the transfer portal at the very end of July, and just within a matter of days committed to the Auburn Tigers in a very quick and a very quiet fashion. Now that you know how he got here, let's talk a little bit about this particular transfer. He's considered a 3-star prospect when he was in high school, and that seems to be the case for the transfer portal, since he hasn't played any at the college level yet. Hardly was barely on a team. Originally from Livonia, Michigan, and played for Divine Child High School. Now his measurables are about 6'4" to 6'5", 305 pounds. He's a very versatile offensive lineman, but most people consider him to be an interior offensive lineman. Now let's back up some of those facts with a few stats, but the stats are usually hard to come by with offensive linemen. We have a few to talk about and some accolades too. In high school, he started every single year, freshman to senior, and then during that time, he started out as a center, moved to guard, and eventually, as he got bigger and stronger, moved over to the left tackle position, so you can see that versatility. On top of all that, he recorded 300 total pancake blocks and even made all-state team by the end of it. Now let's discuss the storylines around his commitment. And sadly, I hate that this is on him and the main thing that we're discussing, but it revolves around Northwestern and what's been happening with them, the firing of their head coach, and creating more opportunities for these players to find something elsewhere, but also benefit of schools like Auburn, who are filling needs that they obviously have. So a sad situation there, and I hate that it's affected him, but happy to have him here. It also is going to affect probably what happens with Auburn's offensive line recruiting even this year for the 2024 class, as it's going to fill a need in a depth chart piece. Now that you know about this player, let's talk about what this commitment and transfer means for Auburn football, and we'll start off by talking about the numbers. Quick note here, I want to remind you all that transfer from LSU, Demario Talon, has left the team. We've done some discussions about that in the past. Hopefully we'll see him back at some point. We're not going to exclude him from these numbers just for the simplicity of things, since he technically did sign with Auburn. So the numbers now stand at 42 total commits in the 2023 class, including transfers as well. 19 of those with this one would be on the offensive side of the ball, 10 offensive linemen, and 5 of those now would be interior offensive linemen if that's what he plays at Auburn. Now let's talk about what his playing opportunities might be when he arrives here onto campus. I think this is going to be a case where there's definitely either a redshirt or limited playing time, mainly because there's been such big turnover at the offensive line unit and so many, especially upperclassmen, transfers. Now, we are going to lose 4 after this year, so there may be playing time coming up for him in the future. So I wouldn't expect a lot this year, but what I am excited about is he's going to be part of a rebuild unit, a lot of young talent at offensive linemen that I think is going to be the new foundation at that unit for Auburn. Briefly, let's expound upon where he comes from just a little bit. From the state of Michigan, not an area that you see Auburn going a lot, not the Midwest, not Michigan, none of those types of areas is where Auburn typically goes. But now, surprisingly, with transfers, this is the second commit in this class from the state of Michigan, that other one being defensive lineman Justin Rogers. So now you've got 2 ways to build maybe a pipeline up into that state. And finally, let's talk about what this commitment means kind of for 2023, but mainly for 2024 and the offensive lineman position. For 2023, hopefully this is the last one we're talking about. I guess anything could happen, but this was kind of a shock too. So we'll just watch and see what happens there. For 2024, let's look at the roster. Currently now with this one, you have 19 total players at offensive linemen on the roster, with approximately 16 of those, in my estimation, have the best chance to see playing time or earn it. If you break that down even further, that makes 4 seniors, 5 juniors, 1 sophomore, and now 6 freshmen. So if you look at the 4 spaces at senior that be vacated after this year, Dylan Senda is fixing one of those spots and taking that spot. So it remained to be seen for the next class that you have 3 spots available. One of those may be filled in the near future. We'll wait and see. Maybe you already know the answer to that by the time you're watching that, but it definitely means there's still room for others in that class. So that's my thoughts on Dylan Senda, your last minute transfer for the 2023 class. Let me know your thoughts on him down in the comments section below. Be sure to do that to be part of that subscriber giveaway that ends at 4,000 subscribers. You need to be subscribed to be part of that, so make sure you take care of that. And as always, check out those links in the description for ways that you can help support Alumni All and us here at E2C Network, where we share the whole Auburn experience. War Eagle.